Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video, I think it's 18 of how to start a recruitment business. What I'm going to be doing in this sort of video is talking about exactly what it takes to be successful in recruitment. Now, this doesn't apply to just one sector of recruiters, whether you're internal, whether you're external, whether you're working in an agency, whether you're freelancing, you've got your own business, you're working solo, you've got staff, etc. This is going to be sort of the blueprint that it takes to be successful. And it's data that I've collected over the last 3 years on myself, how I've performed to a top level and how I've, given a good service. And I've been very different to the most, if you're doing the same thing that most recruiters are doing, you can't actually be successful. So I'm going to sum up a lot of it in this video, and I'm going to touch on clients, candidates, and what it takes and what your desk needs to look like in order to be successful. So I'm going to start off with client acquisition. So getting clients on board is very different nowadays, even to what it was 6 months ago, a year ago. Now, the best thing you can do is find good clients, of course, and service them well. So when you pick up clients, I mean, I don't want to use the term pick up, but I've got no other word for it. When you acquire clients, you want to make sure that you're doing everything correctly from the start. If you start off on a bad foot and they don't respect you, they haven't given you the correct information, if you don't have a consultative call, the main thing we need to do is put the consultant back into recruitment consultant and not just be a recruiter looking to make money. We need to consult with our clients from the offset. We need to say to them, look, have you got half an hour? Can we meet with you? Can we talk on the phone? Can we do a Zoom call? From that off the offset, after you get terms signed, they can brief you on the job. You can learn about the company. This is how it was done 25 years ago. And then people are just trying to get quick, easy money. And it doesn't work like that. You need to be a consultant. This is what we're called, recruitment consultants. What you would do in that call is talk to them, find out what their needs are. Why haven't they filled the position is an important part. They could say to you, and it helps your end as well, they could say to you, look, we've advertised it for 3 months. Nothing has come from it. We can't find anyone in the market. Our salaries are, we have to be, if their salary is 60,000, but everyone else in that sector and that skill set is paid 80,000, you need to address it. You need to say, look, Mr. Client, Mr. HR director, why is it you're paid, slightly less? Is there anything you can do to make it? Can you add a benefit? If it's not salary based, can you add a company car? Can you add flexible working? Can you add extra holidays, days off a week, etc.? Flexible working, compressed hours. These other benefits might weigh up and actually, it will mitigate the salary. If that's their budget, that's their budget. But if they can increase it, fantastic. This will make your job easier. This will also set you apart from other recruiters that they're working with, because other recruiters are like, yeah, I've got the job, let's work on it, and they haven't taken the time to consult. Now, it's not easy as doing that. You don't just say to a client, yeah, let's schedule a call tomorrow at 9 o'clock. You have to see if some clients you might not be able to do that with, but a lot of them you should be doing it with, especially if you've made a placement and it's a new job and they're a proven client and they're working well with you. This is something you really need to do. Help cement the relationship. You can come across as an expert in your field, which is what you want to do. You don't just want to come across as a recruiter looking to fill a job. You want to work with them long term. And the money in recruitment isn't made on placements. It isn't actually made in percentages. What I've worked out, it doesn't matter what fee you're on. You could be on 10%, you could be on 20%, you can even be on 8%. You could be on a flat fee, whatever. The money is made when you've got that relationship long term with the client. And relationship, I don't mean, they're really pally, they pick up the phone every time, they come back to your emails, you have a laugh with them. That's not a relationship. A business relationship with this client, they're not looking for a friend. They want someone that's going to find them what they're looking for. They don't want another recruitment agency. They want their position filled with the best candidate they can find. That's going to be there long term. And you need to be an extension of their business rather than being someone that's just going to come along and fill the job and send them CVs. They don't need more CVs. They need the right candidate, which brings me to the point where, excuse me, a lot of companies that you work in will have not objections. They will have KPIs, targets that you have to meet. What this looks like, and I don't know why companies have it, you got to send a minimum of 6 to 10 CVs per job. Now, this is terrible business practice. This is not what a client wants. All they want to see is one, possibly two or three. I usually say on a client call or initial client call or consultation call, I call them, how many CVs do you want to see? I ask them, do you want to see 10 CVs? Do you like to sift through CVs? Or do you just want one or two that's really going to hit the mark? And yeah, 9 times out of 10, they'll say, I only want to see the perfect or most ideal candidate. I should stop using the word perfect candidate, the most suitable candidate for the job. That's all they want to see. They do not want to see tons of CVs. And how you would get all that information is the initial client call. You wouldn't be successful in placing, or it's 50-50 if you're going to be. Imagine they say to you, look, we're hiring an accountant, but they must have worked in this sector. They must have had experience in a furniture company or the furniture industry. And you've never had that conversation with them. You've never asked them exactly what they want. Chances are you're just going to send them an accountant. And then you're going to say, oh, this client's really bad. They don't come back to CVs. They don't come back to you. This is where the problem lies. And this is why a lot of people aren't successful and their placement ratio per job is really low. Now, what I want to talk about is how to make, I've touched on it in a video, but I want to sum it up now. How to make 100 grand recruiting. Now, this could be a 6-figure biller in a recruitment agency, which will probably be easier because you'll have other jobs to work on. Or if you're at home working part-time, full-time, what you need to achieve and what your desk needs to look like in order for you to make at least 10 grand a month. Now, from my data that I've collected, 30 jobs on at one time will bring you 100 grand a year. It will definitely bring you 10 grand a month. So if you, for example, it's middle of July or towards the back end of July and I had 30 jobs on, next month, I'm definitely going to have 10 grand in revenue. Even if I do a semi-decent job, it really should look like, 20 mark for that. But if you do an average job and you're new to recruitment, you're going to do pretty well with that. So it starts off, if you're building a company or you're building a desk and you want to be a successful startup recruitment agency, you're going to have to start getting clients on. Now, what that will look like, that might be one client. That might be one, medium-sized company that have a big project going. They're expanding, they've opened a new office. And this is talking about permanent recruitment. It's not about temporary recruitment. You're going to need a lot more positions for that. Equally, it could amount to the same amount in theory. So you could have 30 positions that are temporary. If the margin's there, you're going to achieve the same amount with that. Obviously, if you're working within a company, it's not going to be exactly the same. You'll need to obviously just be taking a bit of commission rather than, excuse me, rather than taking the full amount. Now, if you're at that stage, it's not easy to achieve. It can be done over 3 months. It can be done over 6 months. And what happens and how you succeed in recruitment is giving the best service from the start. It is a service-based business. Recruitment is nothing else. People say it's a sales job. It is, but you initially have to you don't make any sale. There's no sale involved in recruitment. I think there's some elements of selling, but there is categorically, it's a service job. And I treat it like a service job. When I talk to a client, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling a candidate. I'm saying I'm the man for the job. I can provide this service. And all our service is pretty much sending CVs, organizing interviews. And it's the same with a candidate. I give free advice. I find out what their needs are. I consult with them. We are a service-based business. And if you move from sales to service-based, it becomes much easier because you're not desperate. You're not trying to make a sale. People think the sale is made when a client signs terms. People get excited. Oh my God, I've got a client. Yeah, they're giving me 7 jobs. The sale is made when you're providing an introduction. That's all you're doing. Categorically, it's not a sales job recruitment. If you make the switch from being a salesperson and sending out, loads of cheesy emails and you work to a service, this is what service we offer, and you email them, I saw you recruiting for this. If you need our help, let us know. That's how you should treat it. You shouldn't come across desperate. And the number one thing I find is people following up with 5 or 6 cold calls. They're coming across as desperate. They're wondering why the client's saying to them, we can only pay, 8%. and they're saying, oh, this company's cheap. It's because you come across desperate. And the one shift I made that made me successful in recruitment is I stopped coming across desperate. And sometimes you're forced to, if you haven't heard back from terms, you send another email a day later, or even on the same day, you follow up with a phone call. You come across as desperate, and you come across as pushy as well, which you'll never be successful. You don't go to the doctors and you say to the doctor, you wait for the doctor to sell to you. You need their service. You need to find those clients that need your service. And if your doctor keeps emailing you and saying, oh, please come into the practice, I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, or they send you an appointment and then they send you a letter and say, oh, you haven't sent our details back, it's annoying. I'm going to come to the surgery and have my little checkup, but you need to be a consultant. You need to be an expert in your field. And you don't achieve that by trying to push clients into making a sale. And also, you waste a lot of time with clients that are going to waste your time. If a client says, send me your CV and send me your CVs, and then I'll have a look at your terms, for a fact they're a waste of time. Drop them an email, give them a call and say, look, unfortunately, I can't do anything unless the terms are in place. If you'd like to move forward, please let me know. Don't chase them up and say, can you sign the terms? They're going to waste your time. The number one thing, and Jordan Belfort said it, Dan Pena says it, Dan Locke doesn't say it actually, but Grant Cardone says it as well. These gurus in that space that have built massive businesses say the biggest waste of time is chasing a sale that will lead nowhere. 80% of sales usually lead nowhere. Inquiries, they're just trying to gather data from you. They're trying to get a free service. You need to avoid them, and that's a stage which is sometimes hard to do, but it's in order to be successful. You only want those clients that want to engage with you. I'll give you 2 scenarios. One client says to you, yep, great, you've sent them my initial email template. They've come back and said, yeah, I've got these positions, can you help me? One client says, great, can we schedule a video call? We want to have a chat with you, learn about your company, and then brief you on the position after that. Another client says, yeah, if you send CVs, we'll have a chat after that and we'll see what you got, basically. Which client is going to, obviously, what do you think long term is going to be the better for you? Chances are it's going to be the first one that said, look, let's have a call, let's schedule a call, they sent you a job description, that's a minimum. Which one is going to do best for you? And most people would say, yeah, I've got 2 clients, but in theory, you got none. They only become a client, so to speak, when you make a placement with them. I don't count a client. I say I've got a job order on. I never say I've got a client. A client is someone that's paid you. The relationship is only started to be built once you actually make a placement with that client. And it's all down to data. So my strategy for winning clients, my strategy for giving the best service, and I'm going to touch on candidates shortly. I'm rambling on as usual, but it's going to be a bit of a long video. I just want to give my thoughts, and so I can give some guidance to everyone out there. And my thoughts on winning business on client acquisition is going to be find the good clients, keep going. And how you do that, well, my strategy that made me successful was I sent out 100 emails a day, which if anybody has done knows that's not a 5-hour job, especially if you're collecting good data. I tried a lot of email templates. The reason I have a specific email template is because I collected data. It performed the best. It got the most reply rates. It got the best open rate. I changed the titles. I played about with long. I sent pictures. I sent videos. That simple email template works the best. And I sent 100 emails a day. I tell people to send 100 emails a day because I had good success and I was onboarding clients pretty much every day. Now, what my strategy isn't just send 100 emails, it's to the right person, the right type of company, and the right timing as well. Also, follow-up emails are fantastic. I've made a video on that, so if you check out on the channel, how to follow up effectively or automate your follow-up is very important. Now, another thing you want to do is you want to make cold calls. A lot of people are quite afraid to make cold calls, understandably. In fact, I used to love making cold calls, and I still do to this day. They have their place, and some of those clients will prefer if you cold call rather than email. And they like to talk. They like to see that you're an expert. They like to see that you're not desperate and you come across desperate. The worst thing you can do is come across needy, pushy, and desperate as a recruiter. No one wants to do business with you. If you got a quote from 3 builders and they came around to your house, and then you said, okay, I'll get back to you all in a day or two, and then suddenly one builder emails you and said, have you had a chance to look at my work, or have you had a chance to do this? And then he calls you afterwards 2-3 times and you don't pick up. What are you going to say? You're going to say, this guy's annoying, I don't want to talk to him. There's the art of following up. It's not easy, it's difficult, and it's, you know, it's not something you want to sort of come across as needy and desperate. Now, 100 emails partnered with 60 calls would be my workflow, so to speak. Now, I've automated a lot of that process, and I've hired people to work for me full time to carry out that. And it's not the case of I have to do all that work, but I'm still doing it. I have a lead source that finds me leads. I have someone that doesn't cold call but could potentially cold call for me, and I still do it. I still add to that. If I got 200 leads I'm going to send out in an email, I still want to add to it. It's not enough. It's never enough. I want to still add to it. Most consultants will probably make 20 calls a day and maybe send out 10 to 15 emails, and they'll still pick up clients once a week. Yeah, and they'll be regarded as a good performer. They'll be regarded as a business development person. But you need to really set the mark. And I'm not saying to do that every day. You can build a very successful 100k desk if you do that for 3 months. If you manage, I swear to you, even in this pandemic, if you send 100 emails and make 60 calls a day, and those emails can consist of follow-ups, by the way, and you do that for 3 months, you will not have to do any more business development after that. It'll be the case of, I've got my clients, everything's working, and they're just sending me jobs over and over. And what it comes down to after 6 to 9 months is you open your emails and they'll say, hello, Kader, we've got 3 more positions. Can you help with these? Here's the job descriptions attached. You'll know the company. You'll advertise the role. You'll start sending CVs. You know how the process works. You can tell candidates, okay, from my experience working with this client, they usually come back quite quickly. So expect a message back in 24 to 48 hours. Hopefully scheduling an interview. I'll have feedback after that, and we'll have a discussion from there after I send your CV. Are you happy with that? Yes, great, fantastic. So it's the case of, you don't have to do business development. The clients will start to come to you once you've proven yourself. And there's going to be some clients you don't make placements with. Not every single client you're going to make a placement with. Some of them are going to be, how can I put it? You're not going to be able to fill. They fill the position themselves. Another agency fills it, God forbid. So yeah, you need to just keep it going. Every 3 months is all you're going to need to be successful in recruitment. Whether you're starting a new job, a new region, a new desk, and if you don't know anything about the sector, all you need is 3 months. That method sounds easy. It doesn't sound easy, but in theory it sounds good. But this is the data I've collected over the years. And if I was to start a new company, into a new business, or work for someone else in a different sector, chances are I will create this method and I will use it effectively. And you'll learn as you go. And the advantage is, if you are new to recruitment, I guarantee if you follow my methods, you'll be able to be successful. And usually you'll be more successful because you won't have any of that cheesy methods and those bad practices that have been taught over the years. Unfortunately, recruitment in the UK is unregulated, so anyone can start a business, fortunately, actually. So anyone can start a business, and recruiters have a bad name. They come across as sleazy salespeople, and they're trained to be sleazy salesperson. They're pushed to do that, working for agencies. So, excuse me, in a nutshell, I hope this video helps. And this is what it takes to be successful in recruitment. So take care. Thanks for watching.